There really was no place for people with chronic and persistent mental illness to go. By establishing Kadima 30 years ago, our community ensured that people with mental illness will have a place that's safe, where they can be welcomed, and where they can continue to move forward in their lives. There is nothing like Kadima anywhere in the country. We're really fortunate that the Detroit Jewish community founded Kadima 30 years ago so that members of our community, Jewish and non-Jewish, have a place where they can come to receive wraparound services, really holistic services, and ensure that they're cared for the entire time that they need to be with Kadima. We really are in the business every day of changing lives and saving lives.
Before I came to Kadima, I felt like I really didn't have a purpose, and I isolated. I had no life. My diagnosis is eating restriction and major depression, and I was in a very abusive relationship, and I had a hard time leaving it. I got to a breaking point, and it was my doctor who suggested I come to Kadima. Had he not suggested I come to Kadima, I don't know if I ever would have left the situation that I was in, and that was not living. Kadima provides activities during the week, Monday through Friday, the center, where we're all welcome to go to. There's an organized craft that we do usually every week. Friday we have the Shabbat service. I go once a week to a community garden, which I enjoy very much. I live in a semi-independent home from Kadima. The homes are very well kept up. Being Kadima is a huge change from the way I was living my life. I lived with someone who didn't want me to have much of a life outside of the life I had. I didn't have any kind of activities that I do today. I did not have a good relationship with my mother, who I do now. See my mom, if not every week, every other week. I'm not alone. I have very good friends I've made at Kadima. I lived like a prisoner prior to Kadima. That's how I felt, because I didn't have a lot of happiness. And I have happiness today. I do. I laugh a lot. And got good reasons too, because my life is good today.
So I was about 26 years old. I had no problem with that condition, and no one could diagnose what was wrong with me.
Well, Sheldon is diagnosed with bipolar disorder. It's a fluctuation in mood that folks struggle with, the ups and downs, the depressions. You know, he's an extremely bright individual, well-traveled, educated, and he was struck by this illness that really affects every phase of his life. And back in those days, you know, we didn't have community resources like we have now, and so Sheldon ended up in several psychiatric hospitals, and where conditions were not always the best.
They rescued me from some ghouls that have been oppressive. They rescue people who have been in mental hospitals or even jail.
Well, I think what Kadima can provide is really a sense of family, a sense of community.
It gives me a friendship and kosher bills on Shabbat, and it gives me a place to go. I like that.
Pray pre-a-cough.
We have the ability to give adjunctive services, not just medication and a bed to sleep in, but additional services that help people to feel, you know, like they have a life. This illness can be very isolating. Everyone's accepting here, everyone understands. There's a tremendous amount of support and a lot of love here.
I got divorced when Danny was 5 years old, and I had sole custody of him. He had a problem socializing with other children. When he was 13, they diagnosed him with everything. I had like 10 different diagnoses. You know, he went to high school, he graduated. One day, he just all of a sudden, he attacked me. And police came over and they said, "You want to file charges?" I said, "No, I'm not filing charges. He's not well." I didn't know what to do with my son. I didn't know about Kadima. There was a point where I was afraid to be with him in my own house because I didn't know what he was going to do. But worse than that, I was afraid he was going to run away and I wouldn't see him again.
So right before we got married, about 10 years ago, he ran away. And we didn't know where he was for almost 10 days. He came back on his own and said, "Yes, I know I need help." We tried different places. My sister-in-law happened to mention she knew of Kadima. I spoke to the clinical director, Nancy, who told us about the adult support group. It was like a lifeline. It's nice to know we're not in this alone anymore. They have things that any family member need to get through this difficult process. We know that Kadima is standing with us. They're not standing behind us. They're not standing in front of us. They are standing next to us, and that's priceless. There was like a light at the end of the tunnel, sort of. So when Danny was more compliant, we said, okay, let's see what else Kadima can offer. Dan had always said he wanted to live on his own. He obviously does need assistance.
When he finally came into a Kadima home, it was harder for me than I think it was for him. Now he's doing so much better. I mean, even whenever I talk to him on the phone, he's upbeat, he's in a good mood.
He has really grown. He has graduated where he doesn't need his medication given to him every day. You know, that's a big thing.
He's doing well, but again, you don't take tomorrow for granted.
We can sleep much better at night knowing going forward, he'll be taken care of.
Kadima has given me the chance to have a life. I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Kadima.
Thank you, Kadima, for giving us a sense of security, comfort, but mostly giving Danny a sense of self-worth.